night before that convention, Nancy Pelosi is coming to Michigan. Oh, sorry, March 20th. So March 21st is convention, March 20th in the evening, dinner with Nancy Pelosi. You should have information about ticket sales soon. It's a lot of lawyering to get invitations and such for Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. But we are very excited that she's coming. And I'll say this, if you bought a ticket to Best of the West and didn't ask for a refund, that Best of the West ticket you bought gets you to see Nancy Pelosi. Yes, because we know what happened there. So Nancy's coming in. I'm very excited about that. She recognizes how important Michigan is. She's excited to help us raise a little money for our coordinated campaign for the work we're doing. So please all come and see the badass that is. That's what she is, right? We have to say she's amazing. I'm very excited. I hope she wears the sunglasses and the coat. So the attention on Michigan is real. The presence of Nancy Pelosi speaks to that a little bit. I get calls every day from reporters who want to talk about, they've moved from wanting to talk about what happened in 2016, which was depressing and sad, but everybody wanted to talk about it, to now talking about, well, what is Trump doing on the ground? How does that compare to what you're doing on the ground? Y'all seen Trump on the ground anywhere? No. So the question I get asked all the time is the Trump folks do a really great job of selling this narrative that they are everywhere, that they have a field campaign. They've even said they have an Obama-style field campaign. Like they know what that is. But we would see it if they did. We would know that they were doing it. I haven't seen it. If you see it, please shoot up the chain so that we know what's happening. But a lot of the reporters call and they ask, how did 2016 happen and what's different? This is what's different. And this is what I tell them every time. Rooms like this, full of people who woke up after that election in 2016 and said, no, never again. What the hell happened and how do I make sure it doesn't happen again? And that's what we did at the party, that's what you all did here. And that is very much the difference between the 2020 and the 2016, is that we are out here doing this work with or without a national campaign to make sure we win. Donald Trump, however, is going around having rallies full of, in my mind, the same people. Like I'm imagining they get on a bus and they do the rally in Battle Creek, and they get on a bus and they go to Toledo, and they get on a bus and go over, right? I don't know, maybe it's not, but it's the same people. They hire people to sell stuff. When we were in Battle Creek, we saw guys who had clearly been hired to work the day, but they were napping in a coffee shop. They didn't get your money's worth there. But they do this for the TV cameras. And they do this to try to scare us, to try to convince us that there is momentum, that we don't feel it, we don't see it, but that there is momentum out there, that they're coming for us. Oh, we know this is the same thing they do, which is why we have a voter protection team. They're going to tell voters using social media now. They used to do flyers. Remember, they do flyers on the car. They say Democrats vote Wednesday, Republicans vote Tuesday, right? Or election day's been moved. Or if you have any outstanding bills, you can't vote. Or if you have any warrants, you can't vote. All of that. Now they use social media for the same sort of stuff. So one of my asks of you, use your social media, take a look at it, follow it, but flag stuff that's clearly voter suppression, that's clearly lies, and let us know at the party. Because part of our goal is to do our best to tell the real story and to counteract some of the negative. We have a thing on Facebook called Project Battleground. Always look at Chris for words about it. This is our executive director of the party, Mr. Jensen. So Project Battleground is specifically designed to do this work. People drop stuff into the Project Battleground space on Facebook and then amplify it if it's our stuff, and then amplify the facts if it's the wrong stuff. So you can join Project Battleground. Your organizer, who is Jeff Winston, can tell you how to get a part of Project Battleground. But it's good stuff, and it's helping us push back on the lies that we're seeing in social media. So help us with that, because that's terrifically helpful. So in 2016, I was going to say I made a mistake. I made several mistakes. But one of the mistakes I made was taking my daughter, my beautiful, smart daughter, with me on election night. So she's in the war room with me when we get the numbers. And she cried, as you can imagine, as a lot of us did. She cried in a way I'd never seen my child cry. And she said to me, "How did this happen?" Which I heard, "How did you let this happen, Mom?" So I made her a promise. That I would take the mantle and figure out a way to make sure this didn't happen again. And I sat down here on this table because I'm about to ask you to help me help my daughter. Find your neighbors, find your friends, find your friends' friends. Everybody we know has to get involved this time. It is not optional anymore. We say every cycle that this guy's the worst. I tell people all the time, I apologize for everything I said about Mitt Romney. It was fine. Right? We all said things about Mitt Romney. Donald Trump has taken this country to a place that is so backwards, that is taking us so many steps back. If you think about the hope we had under Barack Obama, right? And none of us can pretend that we were in a great place as a nation when Barack was president. I call him Barack because we're close. But we had hope, right? And I could send my son out the door and expect that he would come home to me whole.
Right.
I'm not sure of that every morning now because of the environment that Donald Trump has allowed to build up.
Sweetheart, you're right.
We have absolutely encouraged it.
Yes,
We
right.
have to do this. This is the moment. This is the moment your children and your children's children will say, "What did you do? Where were you when this was happening?" And look at it here. This is what you did, right? Find others. Get more. We need an army of people working hard to defeat this man. Because he's going to do everything he can to hold on to this seat. He's going to spend every dollar he can find in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania to try to turn this thing around because he sees it slipping from his fingers and he's going to get more and more desperate. The things he's going to do are going to be more and more crazy and we've got to hold the line.
Yes,
Because
right.
he doesn't want to go to jail. Because he doesn't want to go to jail. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. The minute he's just a regular citizen, jail comes looking for him. Things that we could do to mess this up is to take our toys and go home if our friend slash best friend slash one we fell in love with in the primary isn't our nominee.
That's right.
I tell everybody, go ahead and fall in love with one of these folks who are running for president. Please do. Work hard for them, support them. But in July, we're all going to fall in line behind one, whoever that one is. And I'm sad, because I used to also be able to say, look at that terrifically diverse group of folks on this stage, and now I'm like, yay women, right? That's the women holding on there. But it's tough, right? We have a set of goals for how to get on that debate stage, and it's tough to stay in this primary, particularly because of how much money it costs to run for president, particularly because the first states that we run these primaries in don't look like our nation so much. They certainly don't look like Michigan. Michigan should be first, by the way, folks. Look at us, right? But, Iowa and New Hampshire and whatever. So we lose good folks from the primary because of the way things are structured. This is the hand we've been dealt. This is what we have. So whoever comes out of this primary, we know any of these people is going to be 1,000, a million times better than Donald Trump. We know that, whoever they are. So whoever wins this nomination, we're all going to support, right? Raise your hand, tell me yes. That is my fear, right? That is what scares me most. Because the Republicans are really good at sort of falling in line. We, a little less so, because we have great think for ourselves, right? So, last thing, and then I want questions, because I really do enjoy answering the questions. But talked about voter protection, we talked about the one campaign, the field side of things. We're talking a little bit about communications. We've got a terrific group of folks in the communications team, one of whom is Director of Rapid Response. Thank you very much. Yes, every time I have to do this. Christian is his name, Christian Slater, does terrific work. Christian is happy to come or do a webinar or whatever training. Christian's job is Trump takedown. It is what he does for a living. Every time you see me go after Donald Trump, that's Christian pushing me to go after Donald Trump. He's also very good at the pivot, because we can't just run against Donald Trump. Democrats have to be for something. Exactly. And Christian is very good at helping us with the for something, even without a nominee to point to. So please reach out to Christian, invite him to participate and help you all and answer questions, because I think he's really good at what he does, and I'm very proud that he's on our team. He's doing a great job. We also have a young man named Alex Jacko who does the same thing about John James. He's all John James pushed out. We've got a whole John James website. We spent a lot of time wondering where John James is, because he won't talk to reporters. Y'all know who John James is, right? Yes. He won't talk to reporters. He's out of state most of the time. He's out of state raising money is where he is, and he's raising a lot of money, which is making folks nervous. This man raises money. And part of it is that he is a Trump acolyte like you've never seen before. He's the one who said he was with Trump 2,000%. So Trump is all in on John James, which means the Republican Party's all in on John James. So they're going to spend money, they're going to donate money, they're going to make him as strong a candidate against Senator Peters as possible. Our job is to push back there as well. To push back and make sure that we're talking about how important it is to keep Gary Peters, because if we don't get the U.S. Senate, we've sent a president up there whose hands are tied, because just like our governor's hands are tied, because that legislature and Congress will not help this president at all. We've seen that. That's exactly what happened to President Obama, and it's going to happen again. So we've got to get Gary Peters reelected, and then please, state house seats. I don't think, my passion is, I love a state house race, because it's big enough that you can raise real money and run a real big campaign, but small enough that you really can feel like you're making a difference. And you really can feel like you can talk to almost every voter, at least everyone you need to, the way you can't always in a congressional race or bigger. But in the state house, I love state house races. Anyway, please, help your state house candidates, help your local candidates. I know we all get excited about the top of the ticket, and we spend a lot of time. I believe strongly